This is Ironwood, one of Australia's most exciting string quartets, playing in the tiny New South Wales central western town of Canowindra. Ironwood were not just passing through on tour, they were launching an ambitious and historic bid by the Gold Rush heritage town to establish itself as an important regional cultural hub. In an inaugural series of 4 Canowindra Baroquefest concerts in October 2015, Ironwood were joined by the equally acclaimed Mitchell String Quartet from Bathurst in a thrilling presentation of the Baroque masters Bach, Haydn, Vivaldi, Hummel and others. And the 2 ensembles were supported by highly talented local regional artists, the oboist Leith Isman and the harpsichordist Tracy Callanan. The trumpeter Matthew Gately and soprano Helen Barnett. The 3-day event was a tremendous success, with packed houses at each concert that far exceeded the expectations of the Baroquefest organisers and the event's patron, the veteran, highly popular ABC Classic FM producer and presenter Marion Arnold.
I think it's an incredible achievement. It's really something quite wonderful for this region. And I'm amazed that a little town, as you say, the size of Canowindra, can put on something like this, put on such a big event, really.
So how did all this come about in such an unlikely place? It began with an idea several years ago by the prominent local Vigneron and Baroque music lover Richard Statham, and progressed from there to a dedicated, hard-working volunteer Canowindra Fine Music Committee that spent the past year organising the myriad of tasks that it took to make Canowindra Baroquefest a reality.
Well, it started in my head probably a decade ago, after David Miller, the director of ensembles at Sydney Conservatorium, has now been coming here for 20 years with a bunch of some of his top young musicians, undergraduates and graduate musicians. And Canowindra has embraced David as a good friend with an annual visit, and they always look forward to his concerts. So, you know, a few years ago, some of us thought, well, this is terrific, his annual visit, why don't we make it into a festival? So that's really what planted the seed of the idea. I had a meeting with Andrew Baker and Helen Barnett, the soprano who sang here at the festival in Orange a year ago. Just the 3 of us initially, and we just thought they were keen to support the concept of a Baroque music festival. I just love Baroque music myself. I threw it out there and everybody embraced it. From there on, it was a matter of talking to people around Canowindra who were accustomed to coming to the concerts at All Saints, and those who have had such a huge input in this committee came on board immediately and with their expertise and their experience, and they made it happen.
Canowindra's stately All Saints Church, with its lofty space and excellent acoustics, was where the 2 key Baroquefest concerts were staged, with the Ironwood Ensemble launching the event on the Friday evening and the Mitchell Quartet joining with Matthew Gately and Helen Barnett on Sunday. Both groups played to capacity audiences, with music lovers coming from the local region and from Orange, Bathurst, Canberra and even Sydney. But it was Canowindra's other special attractions that featured in the two other matinee concerts. Leith Ismail and Tracy Callanan performed in the midst of 360-million-year-old Devonian fish fossils, excavated just outside Canowindra and now on show in the acclaimed Age of Fishes Museum. But at the local Wellington winery, the audience enjoyed Sunday lunch under the vines, followed by another brilliant performance by violinist Andrew Baker. And they were treated to something else quite novel, a talk by the highly regarded luthier or violin maker Peter Reed from Orange, explaining how the structure of stringed instruments has evolved since the Baroque era.
The counterform. They didn't have a mould such as this, where the ribs are built around the mould with corner blocks and end blocks. They actually had no blocks in them at all, apart from a very small block for the tail pin and another very small block at the head point. What they used to do is they used to carve the back plate first, and then they built a counter mould based on their mould pattern, or I guess their arching pattern and outline pattern, and then they'd build the ribs to fit that, and they'd fit that into a counterform. So there were no corner blocks holding anything together. When we get old instruments, and I mean really old instruments, in some of the very high profile repair shops that are Baroque instruments, and there's still quite a number of them out there.
Wasn't that just so enjoyable? That was lovely, thank you very much. And I think I probably speak on behalf of many people here when I say it was not only enjoyable, but we've learnt such a lot this afternoon. It's fantastic. Thank you very much indeed to the musicians and also to Peter. It's been a lovely, lovely concert.
Well, I thought it was wonderful. It's the sort of music that I identify with now. It's on my iPod. I listen to it on the tractor all day. And I was so excited that so many people seem to agree now that it was a good one to choose on. The Baroque area covers more than 150 years in European history, 18th and 19th century, and it overlaps into the Romantic and the Classical era, so it's not that specific, and there's something there for everyone.
And such lovely settings, such lovely people, everyone's been friendly, everyone's been interested and excited. And people want to move on into the future with this. It's a great event.